All right, trade pros, good morning and welcome to the morning market update for Monday, April 22nd, 2019. This is George Papazov from Trade Pro Academy. I hope you and your family had a great Easter weekend. If you celebrated, and if you did not, then I hope you had a great long weekend and you had some time off. For me, I spent some time with the wife and her family, and our Easter for Orthodox is next weekend, so it's going to be fun. I get to celebrate twice, and you can never have too many celebrations. All right, I appreciate you guys. Hope you had a great long weekend. Today, we're going to get started with our morning market update. We got quite a few things to talk about on the agenda. First and foremost, I want to tell you this: the day after Easter weekend could see a little bit less volatility, less volume, more quiet style trading typically. But today we're starting off to a non-typical market day. All right, equities are selling off and oil is sharply higher. We'll talk about why in a moment. All right, first let's do a little morning market fun fact. On this day in 1970, the Dow Jones dropped 1.3% to 762.61. It was so low that they did it in decimals. All right. H. Ross Perot suffered the worst one-day personal investment loss on record. His company, Electronic Data Systems, dropped from roughly $150 a share to just $80 a share, and realizing a paper loss of $450 million loss in one day. All right. So, what's the difference between an analyst and a trader? An analyst gets to revise his forecast when he's wrong. Traders get to lose money. All right. That's the business we're in. Today, the biggest driver overnight is oil prices. They're up about 2.3% on WTI and crude oil. And also Brent contract is up quite a bit overnight. The news came in yesterday at around 6 p.m. And I was actually driving over to have dinner when that news hit. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, darn it, I wish I could get to my terminal to make a trade. And I couldn't because I was having dinner. But oil prices spiked higher when news came in yesterday, or rumors yesterday came in, rather, that Donald Trump will no longer give waivers to countries for Iranian crude oil imports. So he had 6 of their ally partners that were able to actually import crude from Iran while they put the sanctions on them. And now he's saying there are no more waivers, which will obviously mean it will limit the supply of oil, and oil rebalance to find equilibrium by rallying back upwards. Less supply, equal demand. We're heading into the summer season where there's actually a little bit more demand of crude as people drive more, and that kind of imbalance occurred in demand supply, and the price recorrected to the upside sharply higher. Right, that was the news. This morning at 8:30, White House confirmed Donald Trump will not renew Iran sanction waivers. They're set to expire in May, as was speculated, and the news report on the weekend said. Countries that are included are Japan, South Korea, and Turkey, and they'll no longer be exempt from U.S. sanctions if they continue to import oil from Iran. All right, on November 5th, rather, of 2018, the U.S. reimposed these sanctions on Iran's oil exports. All right, the United States previously issued waivers to China, India, Italy, South Korea, Turkey, Taiwan, Greece, and Japan, which allowed them to continue importing crude from Iran, but none of those waivers are going to be renewed. So sanctions are on in full effect. The goal of the United States, as was previously mentioned by them, is to have Iran export 0 barrels in total. All right. I don't think that's going to happen. There's ways around sanctions. One way is turning off the GPS trackers on the oil tankers and just doing trade anyways. But it's interesting to see. All right. It's interesting to see that that's a move that was made at a time where Donald Trump also wants to have cheaper oil. All right. Up 2.3%, and oil is currently set a high. Look, this is very poetic. What do we say at Trade Pro Academy? If you're targeting a level like $66 a barrel, where do you sell to take your profit if you're long? Not 66. That's ludicrous. 65, 92, 93, 94, 95. Work it on the way up to exit your position. Never wait for an even number. Get out of your trade before an even number. So a lot of times it just never happens. Here's the fun part. What was the high print of oil overnight? 65.99. So thank you, oil, for helping me illustrate a point. All right, moving on to Boeing. Some reports surfaced on the weekend, very troubling reports from the New York Times. This time, workers are whistleblowers that are no longer employees at Boeing are saying that the Dreamliner has a lot of faults and a lot of sort of things that were overlooked, and they're prioritizing speed of delivery over the quality. I can give you some examples. Shavings, metal shavings that weren't cleaned up inside. Which, all right, that's not going to cause the plane to go down, but it's not. You're paying hundreds of $1 million. You don't want to. You want a clean aircraft. The construction process, the manufacture process, is supposed to be they build a part, clean it, add another part, clean it. That way, when it's done, you get a clean, serviceable aircraft. Here's another more troubling one: a step ladder left inside the tail of a previous airplane, which is close to the gears that steers the rudder on the back. For those of you that have any kind of aviation experience, without a rudder, oh brother, it's going down. It's tough. Well, you're not going down, but it becomes really tough and challenging to navigate, and that puts extra stress on the pilots. Unnecessary. It puts it in a dangerous scenario. And a step ladder was left in the tail, right by the gears. Like that's, so one of the whistleblower guys from Boeing said that 787 is operating under the same pretense. They're prioritizing speed, production over quality, and that's been a thing that's been happening for years at Boeing. He said that he wouldn't. This is the funny part. He was an inspection quality manager, and he said that he wouldn't put his name on saying it's safe and airworthy on any of the aircraft during his time that he was an employee at Boeing. Obviously, the company is denying the claims. All right, and the question is this a one-off, or is this a larger scale management philosophy? And if it is, and Boeing is putting people's safety at risk in the name of profits, that's not a good thing. That's not a good look for the company at all. There could be some liability issues there that it opens up for Boeing. All right, so obviously today it's going to be trading a little bit lower on that report. That report was surfaced in the New York Times. If you want to read the full thing, have a read through it. Pretty fascinating stuff. All right, Boeing's an interesting company because yes, they're for profit. They have to generate return to the shareholders, and at the same time, their number one priority has to be safety. And here's the thing: a shareholder will understand, if you take action in the name of safety, right? They want their investment to grow. And very interesting stuff. Keep an eye out on Boeing and how they respond to this. This is a pretty big update over the weekend. Markets overall, Japan's up 0.1%. Hong Kong's closed. China's down 1.7. India's down 1.3. Markets in Europe at midday, London's closed, Paris is closed, Frankfurt's closed. So European equities are closed. Therefore, we usually have the European close at 11:30 a.m. The European close is already done. All right, there isn't going to be as much volatility for that reason. With European equities not being open, the typical overlap is 9 to 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Creates a lot of volatility and opportunity for us. And today we're going to have less because one of the key markets is out. One of the key regions is out of all of Europe. So we're going to expect less volatility, less volume. Today, follow the 3 rules for sure. Smaller size trading, less trades, less frequency, and take your profit quicker when you got it. All right. And focus on tightening your risk whenever you can. No runners today, just get paid. Start the day slower and scale up if there's opportunity. Crude oil up 2.3%, as we said. Gold's flat. Bitcoin's up 1 percentage point to 5,300. 10-year treasury yields up 1.2 bips to 2.57. Today on the calendar, 10 a.m., we have existing home sales. That comes out at 10 in the morning. It's not going to cause a lot of excitement. Existing home sales is kind of it's a leading / lagging indicator, I call it, because, it's not new home sales, new home builds. It's suggestive of expansion. But it is coming out at 10 a.m. Traders are going to look out for it. Another thing I want to mention is a lot of professional traders today have taken the day off in addition to the Friday, extend out the long weekend, because European markets are closed and there isn't as much opportunity on Monday. All right, so if we're going to play out there, we got to play as if, though, there aren't as many professional traders, because there aren't. All right, manage the risk. Today's a very interesting day because every retail trader or every person who has a 9-to-5 job who aspires to be a trader is going to be trying themselves out today if they have the day off. All right, I always get cautious on those kind of days. I don't expect too many moves to happen that continue, so take profit quick. And obviously, whatever the retail trader's thinking, do the inverse, and you'll have a shot. In terms of a new report coming out, Huawei reports their first quarter revenue, $179.7 billion, a whopping 39% higher year over year. That's a smash in earnings. Net margins at 8%, slightly higher year over year. And they give confirmation that they've signed 40 5G contracts with suppliers around the world. And they've shipped over 70,000 base stations to provide this 5G signal. So 5G is happening. Despite the fact it presents a lot of health risks for you and I, it's happening nonetheless. It's being rolled out. All right. The Q1 2019 figures are said to be the company's first ever quarterly results. from Huawei. They usually don't disclose their results, but with a quarter like that, why not? I would be shouting that from the treetops as well. All right, there you go. You guys manage your risk today. Trade like trade pros. Watch for the downside sell rallies. There's some key support structure below. I think we're going to try to get down to. Oil prices will probably give back some of their gains in time for tomorrow to see some more upside. On our Sunday market analysis live, we mentioned that we're looking for some early morning weakness to early week weakness, maybe up to the Wednesday sell off. It bottoms out around Wednesday and probably rally back up to close around the same price it opened for the Friday. All right, but I'm starting out on the bearish side. So I'm going to be selling rallies on both oil and on equities. And then if it continues bullish, I'm going to abandon that idea very quickly and jump on board. You don't have to be right to make money. You just have to trade, all right, and manage your risk. You guys have a great day. Hope you had an awesome Easter. Now it's time to get back to work. Send you guys love, joy, and happiness. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Goodbye. All right, trade pros in the room. Let's get into it. There's a key support structure level here I want to share with you. I'll talk to you about the S&P 500. Victoria will cover NASDAQ. And Stephen will talk about oil. Oh, also big news. Today is a special day for me and Trade Pro Academy and for Victorio, most importantly. Should we tell him, Victorio? He's getting married, guys. I'm just kidding. If that ever happened, it's apocalypse. But yeah, Victorio finished school, so he's joining Trade Pro Academy full time. Say hi, Victorio. Yeah, it's full time Victorio right there. We're really excited. I think he passed all his classes. You passed all your classes. Give me the thumbs up. I didn't doubt that at all. So yeah, we're really excited to have him on board full time. And Victorio was the second person to join Trade Pro Academy. Trade Pro Academy officially, the first person in Toronto in our head office. So it's been a long journey together. I'm super proud of him. Proud of you, bud. And now this is the beginning of the rest of his career. It's so exciting. All right, now bye. All right, trade pros. Let me cover equities, and I'll hand it over to full-time Victorio, and he'll talk to you about NASDAQ, and then we'll go over to Boxy for oil. So let me start out with S&P 500 and make the screen a little bit bigger. YouTube, have yourself a great day. We'll see you in the trading room.